All right. And here we go. So everything that you see on your screen, I'm also going to share with you. You're going to get a copy of the workbook as well. So don't frantically write everything down unless you have some other thoughts and kind of suggestions. But the actual workbook is going to be coming to you as a PDF document to your email. If you would like us to mail it to you as well, if you want to have like an actual paper handy guide, you're more than welcome to do that too. So my name is Olga St Pierre. I am a real estate agent by trade, and I am your real estate in your community resource for everything and anything. I've been in the business for the last 15 years, just a little bit about us. And my mission is to help anyone with a plan and a desire to become a homeowner. And once you do, it is the most amazing feeling. And my goal is to help you and be there alongside of you as you go through your life's journey and help you to maintain and keep an eye out on your biggest investment. Most of us own our homes, and it is the biggest investment that you're going to own. And when you get into your planning for your retirement for your golden years, that is going to be one of the major pieces of your puzzle to help you with having the best retirement possible. So that's where I come in. I truly believe in information, the power of information, but also making sure that it's simple to understand. So a lot of the workshops that we have been doing for the last 6 years are targeted to help you simplify things and also make your life easier. So that's where kind of like where I'm coming from. This is where my head is sitting. Our concierge service is free of charge to you. If you need anyone, this is my virtual yellow pages. You need a contractor, call me. You need an accountant to help you with something, call me. You need an attorney to draft power attorney, or you will, call me, because this way I will give you the resources that are local, that are really great, that have been recommended by others, or we have used them personally. So that's what we do. And now let's jump in and talk about kitchen organization. So let's talk about why kitchen organization is important, because you know what? We do things on autopilot quite a bit of the time. And this is where the coffee is, right? The coffee is in the kitchen, and it's the first place that you walk into, and it's the place that you use when you get up in the morning. And of course, you're there sometimes 300 times a day, right? So a lot of the times having it clean and ready and tidy is what's important. I do and really try to clean up and tidy in the evening before I kind of wrap up my day, because I know how important it is to set it up for when you get up in the morning. And I think you'll agree with me, there's nothing more amazing when you walk into a fresh kitchen that has been cleaned up and it's kind of ready for you and ready for the new day, right? It's helping you to set your mood right when you're getting up in the morning. So here's a tip. Treat your kitchen like a restaurant. How many of you guys worked in restaurants? So I did not work in the actual restaurant. I worked in McDonald's for a number of years when I was in school. And part of the work that we had to do, and I think you agree with me, is you had to do some cleanup, right? And at restaurant, at the end of the day, when it's time to close up, you have to put everything away. You have to clean the table counters, you run the dishwasher, and that way the restaurant then is ready to go for business to open up the next day. So my recommendation to you is don't tackle it alone. Give everyone in the family a task. For example, my oldest daughter is responsible for unloading the dishwasher, and I load it. And I can tell you that we had some kind of spats and disagreements, and she's like, oh my God, I don't have time to unload the dishwasher. So you know what I did? I timed it. I'm like, let's see how long it really takes to unload the dishwasher. It took me 5 minutes. So now they can tell me they don't have time to unload the dishwasher because everybody has 5 minutes. So time it and then see what happens, okay? So now let's dive in and actually talk about the 10 things that we really want to have organized in the kitchen. And some of them are going to make sense to you, or maybe some of them you already are using. So my hope is just maybe I'll give you some additional tidbits, okay? So just like in majority of your home, I really do encourage you to use your empty wall space. Don't think just because you have a wall, but you don't have cabinets or you don't have shelves, you can't use it. There's tons of technology that are available right now that you can find: organizers, shelves, hooks, rods, baggies, you name it, they're out there, baskets. If you think about it and you put it into the Amazon search bar, I know you're going to find it. So think about some of the things that you can do. If you always wanted to have a coffee bar, right? Because you know that has been popular, but you don't have a lot of space, you can create a coffee bar with literally just a corner and some hooks and look, a few baskets. I love this picture on the left. To me, this is better than actually having a designated buffet where all your stuff is sitting on top. You just need a corner and one small wall. That's it. You can also use rods and hooks to hang your pots and pans. You can hang utensils. If you are a big cook and you use certain things all the time, then group them and put them all in one space. Okay, so IKEA is great for those things, as you know. You can find all of these things on Amazon, Home Depot, and Lowe's as well. And this is how I would try kind of get an idea, is figure out where in your kitchen you want to create something, and then go on internet for some ideas, and then figure out what makes sense to you based on your budget. Okay. Next up, let's try and keep our counters clear. And this is especially important when I'm working with clients who are getting ready to downsize and maybe they need to make a move and we're working on getting their house sold. Having a pristine looking kitchen is super important. Absolutely is important. And you know what's interesting? Once we get the kitchen cleaned up, everybody's telling me, oh my God, Olga, my kitchen looks so nice. It's so big. Because that's what's going to happen. Visually, when you put things away and you don't have a lot of clutter on your surfaces, it's going to make your space look bigger. Now, I know we all live our lives and we bring stuff home and this and that and keys and right, life goes on. However, create spaces where you can organize and keep things all tidy. Like I have a basket in my dining room dresser where I put all of our keys. That's where they are for the house, for the cars. That's where they go. And everybody knows it, that if they don't have the key in their purse, most likely it's going to be in that basket. So designate the places in your home for different things. Or if you want to keep things in the kitchen, put them in drawers or baskets and kind of, but put them out of your way. All right, so that's the idea. Store the items where you need them. This is one of my favorite tips. If you are a big cook, I have all of my stirrers and spatulas and things like that in one of these containers, but I choose to keep it out of sight because I don't have a lot of counter space. So it depends on what you have and what you don't have. If you like this, this is a nice little kind of lazy Susan table that it rotates. And you, let's say you cook every day, which means you need your utensils, you need your oil, you need your vinegar, salt, pepper, things like that, and some other spices. Awesome. Keep it nice and tidy in one place. You can do it on this little rotating table, or maybe it's going to be in the box or a bowl or something that appeals to you. And you know what? If I can rotate it and grab what I need quickly because I'm cooking, I love it. All of my, right, it's my cooking system all in one place, okay? So that's great. If you are digging in your pantry certain things every day, then organize them and put them all in one corner. If you like sugar or you have creamer or you have syrups, things like that that you use every morning or maybe every evening because you're getting, you're drinking tea, then have all those things organized. If you don't have a coffee or tea bar, then have a shelf. That's what I have. I don't like to keep the stuff out because I don't have a lot of counter space. I actually have 2 shelves in my upper cabinet that is designated to my teas and sugar and things that I put in my tea, right? It's like I have lazy Susan, but it's all in one place. This way I know if I'm thinking about having maybe some herbal tea, I know exactly where I'm going to find it. So that's how you can kind of get things organized based on what you are loving to do in your kitchen, based on how much you cook and some of the things that maybe you do on a regular basis. Okay. Next up, let's talk about ditching unnecessary tools and appliances. And that's a big one. And I hear you guys. Marketing can be very, very, very intense and tempting. You come into Kohl's and you go into Costco and you see another tool and you say, oh my God, but it's so helpful. But look at that pineapple core thingy. Oh my God, that'll make my life so much easier. What I want you to do is think twice and 3 times before you actually go to buy it, because how often are you actually going to use it? So that could apply to cotton candy machine. This could apply to these specialty things like avocado remover or other stuff that it sounds good in the moment. But what I invite you to do is don't buy it, wait for a week, put it in the cart, and then make a decision if you still really, really want it. Chopper, like that's what the word I was looking for, chopper or some other thing. I can't tell you how many times I come to people's homes and half of their pantry is occupied by appliances they never use, or there's a parade of these appliances in the basement. So I encourage you to go through them and decide on the things that truly matter to you that you are definitely using, and then sell the rest or donate the rest. I'm a big fan also of appliances that are multifunctional. So I'm a big believer and I love my Instapot because I can do so many things with it. I can steam in it, I can saute in it, it's a slow cooker, I can make my oatmeal in it, I can make soup in it. I love it. It's one pot. And if you go in my kitchen right now, there are only two appliances that are on my surface, and that's my Instapot. Okay, 3 appliances. It's my Instapot, it's my KitchenAid mixer that I use for everything, and I have my tea kettle, right? So these are my 3 appliances that I use at a regular basis, on a weekly basis, because I use them and I cook with them, and that's why they're out. If I have other things, they're in the back of in my closet here in the back room, and I don't use them very often, and I have gotten rid of a lot of those things. So think about the stuff that you have in your own home that you say, you know what, I would rather use that space for something else, especially if you are tight on space. Think about what appliances you are not going to use. If it's been more than 6 months, go ahead and get rid of them. All right, who are my spice people? We love spices. So the first thing I want you to do is when you're looking at your spices, let's get them first, figure out, make sure that they're not old. If they're older than a year, throw them away, because those things do go bad, right? And then let's make them accessible. There's lots of really cool ways that you can organize them. I've seen things like magnets on the sides of the refrigerator. If you're using things on a regular basis because you're cooking, you can maybe add them to your Lazy Susan plate along with your spatulas and other tools. If not, I keep mine. I have one shelf, designated shelf for all of my spices in my cabinet to the right of my stove, where I know that if I go in there, everything is going to be in there. Everything is labeled. And you know what, too? I know it may be tempting for you to buy the big jugs at Costco or BJ's. Unless you know you're going to use them, don't buy the big jugs, because that's how stuff is going to go bad, and that's not going to add any flavor to your meals. So that's my recommendation for that. Tiered shelves, turntables, magnetic spice racks are all awesome. So head over to Amazon and Walmart and you can find all those things in Target as well. Let's have a designated place for everything. I love this because then you don't have to hunt things down. You know exactly where things are. My kids are famous for moving things. And when I go to find something and I know where it lives and it's not there, I start calling my children's names and asking them where they put it, because they don't put stuff back. So maybe it's the same in your household, but I like to know where things are, because then I don't have to go running around looking for them. So if you have a designated little, turntable for like all of your sauces, that's awesome. I use my little turntables for my medicine cabinet, so that way I can rotate it easily and I know where I can find things. So my suggestion to you, if you want to make your life easier, I know we're talking about kind of like having systems, right? That's the goal, is to make your life easier. Invest in some of these clear plastic containers. These are my favorites because you can use them throughout the whole house. You can use them in the bathrooms, in the bedrooms, in the garages, and definitely in the kitchens. That's where you would start. But invest them and make them your system. That way you can organize things. You can take stuff out of boxes, so that way you're not wondering where they are, what they are. You can write down what the stuff is. You can write down expiration date. It just makes things easier. I also love, and I encourage you to use all of your airspace in your cabinetry. If you go into your cabinets right now, you have a stash of plates, and then look at all the space that you have above them. I encourage you to use these stackable shelves, and you'll be surprised how many things you can fit. You really want to use your airspace as much as possible. So that goes for your cabinetry that hangs on the walls. That also goes for your base cabinets, especially. Think about the cabinets that are where your sink base is, right? Under your sink, you definitely want to get some really good organizers there because you can store a lot of things. That is a big space. So don't just put stuff on the bottom, which is what we all do. Think about creatively on how you can use maybe some hooks and some of these kind of wired shelves and some stackable shelves to be able to fit more things in. All right, let's talk about cleaning. So let's make it very simple. Some simple things that you can do daily to keep your kitchen organized, things that you can do weekly and then monthly, okay? I'm going to take this out of your going down the rabbit hole and saying, I don't know what that schedule is. I don't have it in front of me. How am I going to know? You have it. You got this. Very simple. Every day, loading, unloading the dishwasher, washing out our sink, wiping, cleaning counters, sweeping the floor, and then cleaning our cooktop is definitely helpful because you know what? If you have little spills, you can easily grab them before they become big spills. And then the same thing would apply for your microwave. Okay, so that's on a daily basis. And I also have your weekly and then your monthly schedule here. And we added some suggestions for you for the products that I fell in love with during COVID, because I did watch a lot of the cleaners and those people that were doing all of those things. Cedar Mop is great. Wyman, a brand, is great for stainless steel to help you make cleaning your stainless steel appliances. Make sure that you use gloves to protect your skin. And Scrub Daddy is also great for all different kinds of things. I love my Scrub Daddy. I actually got it as a little gift for a lot of the people that are in my life for the holiday season. And if you want to check them out, they now have other products too. It's not just that yellow sun. So they have like other things that you can do, you can use. Okay, counter organizers and fridge. So have you guys tried this trick where you put your fruit in the glass jar instead of the plastic container? It actually lasts longer. I tried it with my strawberries and I actually do think it works. So this is a TikTok or Instagram tip that somebody put out there and they were blown away by how much longer their fruits have lasted if you put them in mason jars. So these are glass jars. You don't wash the fruit before you put it in, and it's definitely lasts longer. I don't know what the trick is, but I do think that typically glass is better than plastic. So this could be something. So here is how you use your plastic storage containers. You can group things together in your pantry as well as in your refrigerator. It's easy to make snacks accessible for your kids and grandkids, and use those clear turntables, drawer dividers, bins, and baskets, part of your system to help you prevent the messes and the clutter in your drawers and the cabinets. So the other great way of using organizers, especially in your, we talked about the cabinets, but also don't forget about your fridge. If you want to clean it out, also designate and mark on different areas of your fridge where things go. This way, when you're running out of something, you're going to be able to see it because it's in a designated space, and then you can put that on your list of groceries to buy. And that also avoids you buying unnecessary things, and it also helps you save money because you're only buying the things that you're definitely running out of, okay? We are not going to use the refrigerator as the message board. And you know what, too? I have a couple of things in my refrigerator. And what I can tell you is that having all that crap on the refrigerator is not making it prettier. But I get it. We all have a life and we all live and running around, and we want to keep track of what's happening in our families and grocery list. So when we get together with my clients, I have them remove everything off of the refrigerator, for the time when they're going to be selling their house, because it makes the room look cleaner and neater, and it just looks good. If you ever look at a magazine, HGTV, or even simple as magazines that sell things, you know, kitchen cabinetry, things like that, do you ever see crap hanging on their refrigerators in those magazines? You don't, because it doesn't look nice, right? You're going to look at it and say, well, that looks messy. I want to see pretty. I want to see organization. So I invite you to think of it that way too, but that doesn't mean that you can't have those reminders. So I use actually the inside of my cabinets to keep things and tape stuff and calendars and coupons and everything. And you can use command hooks to make it easier for you. You don't have to glue anything. You can use the hook, and then you can put your reminders, and then use magnets and things like that. Everything that you see on the refrigerator, but now it's going to be hidden, but yet available to you. All you have to do is just open the drawer. So I love the idea of, like, you can hang the cork board, and you can put all the reminders on there with the little tick pins, little hooks for keys, reminders, and then a little container, you know, like kind of like a hanging basket for whatever you want to throw in there. So just inviting you to a creative idea of, again, an easy way for you to create visual space and clean up in your kitchen. The need for open and closed storage. So this is where we're talking about how much stuff do we actually use and we want to be out at all times, versus the things that we don't use all the time and we want to put away. So if you have coffee bar, or you have some other ways that you want to display things, that's great. But some things do need to kind of be put away and tucked away, so that way you create more of that visual space. So think about what you have in your kitchen, and is it really necessary to have it out, or it makes sense for you to put it away, maybe to reorganize some of your cabinets, so that way you can put some of those appliances or toaster ovens that you only use once a week. You know, I'm kind of like, that's what I'm thinking about. Because a lot of times, even if you're not the most organized person, when you have as much counter space cleaned up as possible, it's going to really make a difference in your mood, because clean space, clean slate, everybody loves it, and your brain is going to love it as well. Labels. Guys, just use labels. Very easy to do. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. You don't need to order any fancy things unless you want to. You can even just use, you know, get these chalkboard little pieces. They have chalkboard labels, or you can use regular Avery mailing labels and just write with a Sharpie on them, right? Or like, if you're like my 17-year-old daughter, who has to have things perfect, does order a label maker, and she used that for everything. And I said to her, I was like, you know what, honey, if that's going to make you feel better and get things organized, she said, yes. I'm like, go ahead. So she's got a fancy label maker that she uses for everything. But that's just how she is. That's her personality. So label makers, in fact, are not very expensive. You can get them on Amazon, and then you can then create any label that you want. But this is where it comes in handy when you are labeling things in the fridge, right? Because then you just peel it and you post it, especially for other members of your family who you're trying to get organized and kind of on the same wavelength as you, and say, hey guys, let's keep all of our condiments here. Let's keep all our milk and other things here. This way, when we're starting to run low, we know that these products are only sitting in this one area and one zone. So love labels, but I prefer to use labels, majority of them in the refrigerator. So this is what I have for you. We ran through the 10 things. I hope that you like them. My goal for you is to give you some food for thought and some ideas on how you can invest in a system to put in your kitchen to help you make your life easier. And that really is the goal. So if you want some other suggestions, you want to talk to me in private, I do recommend that you do like a before, during, and after pictures if you're embarking on it. But kind of reorganizing things and creating more spaces really is one of the easiest ways on how you can clean up, declutter, and dress up your kitchen. And if you are looking for some maybe more updates and upgrades that you may want to do with your kitchen, and maybe you need a contractor recommendation, you know who to call, because I have that as part of our concierge service. So all of the videos and recordings are housed on our At Home with Olga YouTube channel. My second YouTube channel, if you want to check it out, is all about living well in retirement and planning for retirement. So this is why I'm so big on helping you make sure you maintain your home if you're planning on living there and retiring there. It's a really, really big puzzle for the retirement planning. And if you do want to connect with me on social media, most of the time I am hanging out on Facebook, and you can find me there with just my first and last name. So that's what I have to share with you today. And I know there were some questions that were posted when you guys registered, so let me take a look. And do shout out, or if you want to post some questions, let me know what questions you have, what maybe you found helpful, and then we can go through them too.